Today's episode is brought to you by Patreon. If you're interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/JoshuaVelas and become a $2 backer today and get early access to the new episodes. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below, but for now, on to today's episode. You're listening to the Augmented Experience podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Joshua Velas. I'm a student, musician, and a gamer at heart. Join me as I sit down every week to talk about all the latest news in the technology, business, and video game world. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. My name is Joshua Velas. I am your host as usual, and obviously welcome back to the show. Today's episode 218 of the show. Before we get started, we're just going to do a little house cleaning quick around here because, well, we didn't do one last week, so it only makes sense that we do it today. So let's just get on with the house cleaning. I do want to say thank you guys for coming back and listening to today's episode. It does mean a lot to me. You guys constantly take time in your days to download these episodes, to share these episodes, to constantly keep letting me know how you feel, whether you like my stupid face or not, or you like my opinions or not. At the end of the day, I greatly appreciate it, and I greatly appreciate all of y'all, especially for those of you that constantly stay and, well, listen to the show and just let me know how you feel about it. I know that last week we did take the week off, mainly because of college move out, which is kind of ironic that I'm mentioning this now, especially given that I'm doing a real talk today, which, well, as we're doing a real talk, and we're doing a slice of life update. And to me personally, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the move out. We'll talk about other things. But I do just want to say thank you guys for coming back and listening to today's episode. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys constantly take time out of your days, whether it be to listen to this episode or listen to the show on your drive to work or while you're at, well, I'd be concerned if you're listening to it at work, depending on what you do. But I appreciate you guys constantly download these episodes. You share them. You let me know how you feel about the topics, whether they're the real talks or just general tech topics, like talking about tech, business trends, talking about the video game industry. At the end of the day, the feedback is greatly appreciated, and I appreciate all of you guys from the bottom of my heart. I really do. But it's time that we talk about today's episode. So what are we talking about exactly today? Like, I know I mentioned this is a slice of life update. It's an episode where it's just me talking about how things are going on my end. And to be honest, things have been very interesting on my end. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There are many things that I could say have been going really well. There's areas that I know that can be improved upon. And yeah, there's some areas where, things kind of suck. And let's just talk about them. Why not? Because I feel like the way that I'm going about handling a lot of these things can be very encouraging for a lot of people. And I do believe that it can be helpful to talk about some of these things and to have those kind of discussions and conversations, if we're being honest here. So let's talk about some of the good things. So if you don't know, I'm currently transitioning into my last year of college. So hooray, I'm a senior now. So I get to, almost do my victory lap, but not yet. There's no victory laps until we're at the finish line, until it's over, it ain't over, homie. So I'm very excited that I'm in this position where I can see the finish line. I'm excited that I can now realistically picture myself at the end, seeing graduation, seeing, job opportunities. To me, it's been an incredible ride. It's been an incredible journey. It's been a blessing in incredible numbers of ways, if I'm just being honest with you guys. And yeah, other good things, I would say another 4.0 semester. So this is my first semester of doing 15 hours, which people are like, you're barely doing it now. And I'm like, okay, yes. Hey, it went really well though. And I handled it very well. This is my first time bumping up to 15, and I thought I handled it very well. I'd say another pro that things have been going well would be the trip to New York and the trip to Waco when I went to Be So Live with my friend, my homie Adonis, my running buddy and workout buddy, who's probably just as crazy about working out as I am. And, when I talk about New York, I know I've talked about it. Maybe I haven't talked about it a little bit, but to me, the trip to New York was just incredible. I talked about it on the show before, like going there, what it meant to go there, and just the experiences that I got in that 1 week helped me out tremendously. It helped me learn to let go of just a lot of bitterness, a lot of hatred that was in my heart that I was holding towards somebody or just people in general and just life. There was just so much bitterness that was built up inside of me that just wasn't healthy. It wasn't good for me. and I really just needed to let it go. And it's not that the trip helped me like get over everything, magically, woof, everything's gone. No, it's just, it helped me to better understand why I felt the way that I felt, but also at the same time, learn to let go and learn to move forward, essentially. Is learn to make progress and actual healthy progress in moving forward, and to acknowledge some of those immaturities that have been inside of me, to acknowledge some of that bitterness and that hurt that had been inside of me, and really process, why do I keep thinking about it? Why do I keep replaying the circle over and over in my head instead of just, properly letting it go? And maybe that relates with some of you. And, if it does, we can have a conversation about it someday. I would say another great thing that came out of this was just friendships and growing new friendships. Like I was mentioning with my homie Adonis, like this whole school year was just us bonding more, working out together, just really getting a better understanding of one another and understanding like where we're at in life and how things are going and, where we want to go going, where do we want to be as men going forward. And then just other relationships, like repairing some relationships that have been broken, and at the same time growing, making new relationships, making new friendships with new people. And to me, it's just, there's so many great things that have happened this school year. And, let's just talk about it. Another big one was the internship with Dell. Like I was not expecting to land this internship. I was not expecting to have this kind of opportunity, but here we are. And at the time of this recording, next week on May 23rd? Yeah, May 23rd, I start my internship, and it's going to be an exciting ride. 10 weeks of working with Dell in the private sector and, doing what I want to do, which is product marketing. So this is going to be an incredible experience, and I'm very blessed and grateful that I even get to have an opportunity like this. But as I mentioned, yeah, there have been some pretty, let's just be honest, some crap experiences. Let's just be honest here. One of them kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, and that's, well, ironically, sticks out like two numb fingers, which was the car accident that I got into in April. And that situation just horribly sucks. The fact that I got into a wreck, the fact that, my fingers, like my ring finger and my pinky finger are still numb at the time I was recording. Like I still can't, essentially, it's not that I can't use them. It's just, imagine if they're asleep the whole time. So imagine like on my left hand or on your left hand, that you only really feel your index finger, your middle finger, and your thumb, and the other two are just there. So it doesn't really feel like they're there. And it's just a weird feeling. Like, obviously, the strength in these fingers are almost non-existent because, there's just no strength there. And it just really sucks. Like, that's just a really downside. And at the top of that, I don't have my car. And my car is not going to be ready for, like, a couple months. So it does suck, if I'm just being honest with you guys. It really does. I'd say another thing that's, I wouldn't say it's kind of a bad thing. It's just there obviously have been, some things that we're still working on. Like the maturities part that I mentioned is like, yes, one of those maturities that I'm working on is still learning to be more okay and more content with being single and truly being content with my life. And at the same time, it's learning to deal with a lot of those immaturities and truly understand what it means to be a partner to somebody. That's something that I've really been wrestling with, and just truly understanding of what it really means to be a partner. Like, what does it really mean to sacrifice for another person? What does it really mean to put the needs of someone else before you? What does it mean to, I would say, lead the way that you're supposed to lead? What does that look like? And these are questions that I've had to wrestle with and really still figure out, because I still don't know them. And to be honest, like some of these experiences, like, there have been some hard things that have happened so far. Prime example, some of my family stuff, things have been rough on the family end, whether it be, dog issues where we sadly lost a family pet, and some other situations that have happened that I'm not going to disclose because it's not relevant to the matter and not my position to talk about them. But when I think about everything, I think it's always important to acknowledge that, yes, we're not just trying to pretend that everything is all sunshine and rainbows. I'm not going to stand here and pretend like, yeah, like there's been some dog crap experiences, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend, yeah, it's all perfectly fine. Hey man, peace, love, bro. Good vibes only, bro. Like, nah, bro, get that bullshit out of here. We have to acknowledge that, yeah, life is going to kick you in the dick. Let's just be real here. Life is going to kick us in the dick a lot. We're going to get kicked in the teeth a lot of times. And it's not just trying to put a positive spin on everything, as me a believer, as a believer and a Christian, like, yeah, bro, Jesus, yeah, bro, no. It's to acknowledge that, yes, things have been hard. Things are hard. Life is hard in general. Like, we're not going to pretend that life is always going to be easy. No, life is a roller coaster. There's going to be good. There's going to be bad. That's just how life is going to be. However, it's just learning to have hope and truly be content, even when you have everything and when you have nothing. And I feel like a lot of people have forgotten what that means. It's like, what does it mean to truly be content? What does it mean to truly, be at peace, even when things are hard and even when things are good? Because the thing is, this is something I've had to wrestle with, and I've noticed has been a nasty stigma with Christians, is they always like to praise God when things are going well. But they don't, but then there's some of them that just like, oh man, yeah, if things are going bad, yeah, bro, this isn't God, bro. This is something evil. I'm like, no, bro, it's like, you have to acknowledge that God is good no matter what. He's not just good when things are going well. He's good even when things are going bad, because it makes you trust on him more. It makes you realize, like, hey, I need to be more in tune with him. I need to be more connected with him. And this is something that I learned in New York, was even when things are at their worst, he's still there. And for me, this is something I've had to wrestle with a lot, to be honest, because, I told people before I left to New York, yeah, like a lot of this bitterness, a lot of this hatred had been building up for over 3 years. And throughout my life, I know that I have faced some very dangerous battles that, just being honest, some people didn't get to see the end of the tunnel, whether it be with depression, whether it be in anxiety, whether it be with, suicidal tendencies and wanting to do that and go through with that. A lot of people haven't seen the end of the tunnel when it comes to a lot of those things. And I acknowledge that. But I'm grateful that I'm in the place where I'm at now, that I have the people that I have around me that love me, that care about me, that want the absolute best for me. And yes, not everyone's going to be my friend. I know that. I could be the nicest person on this planet, and there's still going to be someone that doesn't like me. That's just the truth. But at the end of the day, it's like, I still want to be me, because that was something that I felt like I forgot was who I was, who is Josh in many ways. Because it's like, people always say, well, Josh is always the kind, caring, loving person that's always likes to see the best in everybody. And some people can say, well, Josh is like the smart ass dickhead that, knows he's smart and always likes to talk about how smart he is. He's kind of a dickhead. And I'm like, yeah. And in many ways, both are right. Neither are wrong, because they're both right. Like, I know there's parts of me that, I know that I have a very caring personality towards people. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, yeah, nah, bro, they're just over exaggerating. Like, no, like, I know that I do care about a lot of people. Like, I always like to put the needs of others before myself. That's just naturally how I am. If I see someone that I'm able to help, I would like to make the effort to help them and interact with them and get to understand where they're coming from and their story. Because I've always believed that the best way to truly understand another person is by sharing stories. When you share stories, you interact with people, that's how you truly get to understand who that person is. And in many ways, when it comes to the other stuff too, like, I'll just mention it. Like, yeah, like, I know I can be a dickhead sometimes. I'm not going to pretend that I can't be some cocky, smug bastard that, can talk some hella shit and can back it up. Like, I'm just being honest with you. I like doing that. And, prime example was the whole workout stuff. Like, the fact that, it went really well. Like, and next month I get to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of hitting the gym and hitting my goals and sticking to it and being consistent with the gym and or working out and, living a new lifestyle and truly maintaining this new way of living. And for me, it's just been incredible. It's just been an incredible ride. Like, this whole year of school, I say school year in general, has just been incredible. And I'm truly blessed for everything, for the good, the bad. I'm grateful because at the end of the day, these experiences help shape me. They help make me the person that I am right now, because the person that I am right now is not the same person I was a year ago. Like, let's just be honest here. It's not. And for me, this has been an incredible school year, and I'm excited to see not only how my internship goes, I'm excited to see how my summer classes go. I'm excited to see what my future holds. I'm excited to see what does my senior year going to look like, what's going to happen, how graduation, like, bro, I can't even tell you, I can't even begin to imagine how graduation is going to be. The amount of euphoria going through my system is going to be through the absolute roof. Like, you think I was already, like, I know I'm going to sound like a dickhead saying this, like, you think I was already talking my shit before? Nah, homie, I'm going to be talking some hella shit when it comes to my graduation. I'm going to be hella flexing. But as I should be celebrating this incredible achievement for not only me, but for my family, but for my community, that this is something that means so much more to me than just a diploma, if I'm being honest with you. The graduation, yeah, like getting the diploma and everything, that's all fine and dandy, but it's the fact that I'm even pulling this off means so much more to me than just a piece of paper. And we'll talk about that in due time when the time comes. But for now, I'm just going to focus on what I have now, be grateful for what I have today. And tomorrow, hey, if I'm given another day, great. And if I'm not, I'm going to be fine. It's just being grateful for what I have today and focusing on here and now rather than trying to think about the future and try to play different scenarios, play these different scenarios in my head. But to me, it's been great. This school year has been incredible. Obviously I could joke about like all the new shit that I bought. Like, prime example, I have a PS5. I have my Switch OLED now. I found my, I got Game Boys again. So I'm happy I got those. I got my Game Boys again. Found a lot of games that I wanted. A lot of DS games, 3DS games, Switch games, some retro consoles like the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, a fight stick and stuff like that. But those things don't really matter at the end of the day. They're just little novelty things that, they're just nice things to, have. But I'm just truly grateful for all the experiences that I've had, for the people that I met this past year, and just seeing how things and how these relationships and these dynamics grow and change over time. But from the bottom of my heart, I thank you guys for listening to this episode. I hope something in this episode was useful and helpful to somebody out there. And I know it just seems like it's all more off the hip, because that's usually how the real talks are. They're more off the hip and just really me pouring out what's on my heart and what's just on my mind. But I just greatly appreciate you guys take time out of your days to listen to these episodes, to share them, to let me know how you feel about them. And if this was helpful and encouraging you, then hey, just let me know in the comments down below. But I love you guys to death. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you to the Patreon backers for supporting the show. Thank you for everyone that's downloading these episodes, for sharing them. We're almost at 3,000 total downloads, so thank you guys for that. I really, really appreciate it. But I will see you guys next week, and I hope you guys have yourselves a wonderful week and weekend. Don't do anything dumb, y'all, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys. Hey there. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day and listening to today's episode. If you're interested in supporting the show, whether it be financially, clicking the follow button, or just sharing the episode, it all works for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I love you guys to death.